Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right, greetings and welcome to Live Talk. I am your host, Arthur Jeremiah, alongside my co-host, the minister, Samuel.
Welcome again. Welcome back to Live Talk.
All right. So before we get into anything, let's start with our general statement and our disclaimer.
General statement. Live Talk is proudly powered by TBS Goodwill, Builders of the Highway Foundation, and Men of Purpose. Together, we're bringing about awareness to the everyday challenges facing individuals, communities, and our nation. We tell our stories, listen to yours, and always respect different perspectives. Want to share your voice? Email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com to be a guest, or if you would like to contribute to our mission, purpose, go to livetalkorl.com to give a donation. Disclaimer. Information provided during this event and others to come does not constitute the official opinion of Live Talk or its affiliate entities. It is strongly recommended that viewers seek independent expert advice regarding any topics discussed, as legal requirements differ significantly across jurisdictions and are subject to frequent changes. If you have questions or concerns, you can always email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Facebook and or Instagram at Live Talk Orlando.
All right, welcome back to Live Talk. And today we're going to be really embracing our start as, activists in the community, right, brother?
Yes, but what we actually do here locally in our city, and hopefully spread that abroad.
Yes, sir. But first and foremost, brother, how are you? Because we forgot to break the ice there.
Okay, I'm actually doing wonderful today. How about yourself, sir?
Doing pretty good as well. It's the beginning of the month, so that's a great thing. We have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of great organizations out there that we're going to be talking about today, and hopes that we can connect with more organizations that's out there. So you can always reach out to us via our social media, and you can DM us. But we do want to connect with local organizations that are doing great things in our community. All right. So with that being said, let's just give you a rundown of the show today. First, we'll have the minister word of today. Right after that, we'll go to a short commercial break. And after that, we'll talk. Our main topic today is community programs that we're associated with and how they align with our mission, our vision as Live Talk, and also to the community and what we're looking for as, upliftment in our community. Right after that, we'll go to another commercial break, and we'll come back with some updated, some news, something that we can connect with. So we always try to come with our community news, and then we'll end with a motivational quote or reading from the author, the host. So with no further ado, Minister, what is the word of today?
Okay, well, our word of today is going to be commitment, and it's actually taken from one of our acronyms, CHILL. But the first word on that is commitment. And commitment is the act of committing, pledging, or engaging oneself. Commitment is the act of binding yourself intellectually or emotionally to a course of action. Commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity. And the root word to commitment is commit. And commit is a word that also means to trust. And then a scripture that you find that word that backs it up, which kind of talks a little bit in the community, and it says, things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who should be able to teach others also. So our word for the day is commitment, which finds its root in the word commit.
And I like that, because even when you touch on the scripture there, and we're going to be talking about a lot of this here, when it comes to the works that are needed in our community, as men, we have to connect to men that are doing those works. Yeah. So there's a command that's in the scripture that commands us to commit ourselves to these works, which is very important. I like the other side of that. You said buying. Oftentimes we connect with organizations, or we start organizations that we have a premise that we have committed to it, but we don't bind ourselves to it. So it's oftentimes that we're separated from that because we don't know the true meaning behind binding yourself to something, which means to make fast, or to stick too firmly. And I think it's very important as men or as women, and I see our women, they connect, I think, more often than our men do.
Yes.
And more firmly, especially than our men do. And I think we just have to have a better commitment amongst ourselves, and not allow our egos to get in the mix of that. So just touching on that, and we're going to talk about some of the programs that we are involved in, and how either you can become a part of that, or how, hey, we can become a part of what you're doing. The whole goal is to commit ourselves to one another so that we can build our community. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about our main topic, to get into our main topic.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zadi toothpaste. Zadi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zadi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zadi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
All right, welcome back. And as we mentioned in the beginning, when we go over our general statement, it says that Live Talk is powered by TBS Goodwill, Builders of the Highway Foundation, and Men of Purpose. Now, TBS Goodwill and Builders of the Highway Foundation somewhat has the same purpose. We're going to talk about TBS Goodwill today, which is associated with that, but we're going to talk about MOP as well, because we just want to highlight the programs, and we're going to highlight how we came up with the name Live Talk. Because you hear Live Talk and you don't know that that's an acronym. Actually, Live Talk is actually an acronym which stands for Living and Vital Energy. So it's the spiritual. We talk about the spiritual universal. Help me out. Concept. So when we talk about Live Talk, it's a spiritual notion of who we are and what we represent. And we try to bring guests onto our show that represent those things that we are so connected to spiritually, as well as physically in our community, and uplifting and building up our community as well. So just to start, we talk about the functions of the organization. We talk about MOP, we have TBS Goodwill, and how they function within the scope of the community. What would be some things that, if we was to bring up MOP, what would be some things you would like to share with the audience on how MOP connects and bring us together?
Okay, well, and of course, TBS Goodwill is the sponsor, and MOP had its foundation. But what MOP does, and I really like to share the kind of like MOP has a mission and a vision. I want to share part of that purpose of MOP. And MOP, of course, a lot of the words we use, words are important, but they're like Live Talk is not just Live Talk, it's an acronym and it has a meaning.
Right.
And MOP is not just a word, it's a meaning.
Right.
MOP, men of purpose, that acronym really means to mop. So it's about cleaning up, taking things that have been, out of order and messed up and bringing it back into its proper form and clean. But MOP is...
Right before you get to that.
Yes, sir.
It's something that you said, and I want the audience to be, that's to be aware of this here. Because you talked about how Live Talk was influenced really by MOP.
Yes.
Because we was, and just to help the audience understand, when we was coming through the pandemic, it was a way for us to stay connected with the community. And so MOP created Live Talk. And although it's associated, it still had a distinctive purpose to it.
Right.
And that's why we tried to, have its own identity, but it was influenced by MOP, Live Talk, that is.
Yes.
Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now see, so MOP, one of the purpose of MOP as it's written or defined is to unite conscious, melanated people without regard to religion, politics, or ethnicity, so we can develop our own communities, create our own businesses, to support the education of our children and the care of our elderly, pool our common resources by opening collective bank accounts, while contributing towards the success of acquiring income-producing property and land, to make a difference in the lives of our people through these positive changes. So that's kind of like the purpose that MOP serves, which is kind of, part of the birth with Live Talk.
Right. So it's a lot, because you started off, one of our words was commitment. And when you think about MOP and what you just read, that centers around the word chill. Mm-hmm. And chill was a way for us to identify our character, like within the scope of how we should act, how we should, go about our daily lives, so that we're always in the mindset of chill, that commitment, having a commitment to the responsibilities that we incur as a community, and that's being within the community, and just having, raising up our sons and our daughters to have integrity, but we also had to have integrity within the scope of us operating with one another. Right. Because that was a stigma. We want to talk about some of the stigmas that kind of helped us come together, and we had to, it was just certain things that as MOP, we tried to kill as far as that stigma.
See, yeah, and that's very important. See, because we have, and usually, the only way to solve a problem is to first identify and acknowledge that you have a problem. Mm-hmm. And part of that problem is because of the years of racism and division that we came through as a people. Right. We were taught, even if you weren't taught it out loud, subliminally, we were taught to not trust one another, to look at each other with suspicion. It's like they have these negative, people say these stereotypes, but it was pushed so deep into our society that it's a reality. Like the things that they said about Black people, even though we know most of it wasn't true, but it would cause us to look at each other with suspicion. Right. And to take it as if, well, I can't believe what he might say, or to see someone that we don't recognize and to think negative of them. And see, so once you put that out, now you don't have to physically oppress someone, because now you have them oppressing one another. Right. And that's, and to reiterate that point is, we have a lot of intelligent, entrepreneurial, brilliant Black people, but we're taught to not do business with people that look like us. We say that we don't, but it's like, if you have ice in your store, we'll go buy ice from somewhere else. But
as if it's colder.
As if that ice is colder.
Right.
But you and the other fellow buy the ice from the same supplier, come from the same location. But we've been taught that their ice for some reason is colder. And we will unconsciously drive past 3 or 4 people that look like you and me to buy ice from somebody who don't look like us.
Right.
And in some cases pay more for that ice. And we don't realize that's a problem, because then it creates that distrust amongst one another. So now we'll go through the communities, and then we begin to feel uncomfortable in our community, or we'll say, well, the community over there is dirty. Well, if the community looks dirty, simply go clean it up.
Right.
Because if we go through another community, if it's dirty, they simply clean it up and then continue to live and prosper and do business. But we'll look at it and say, we don't want to do anything in that community.
Right.
And then if the people that we pay our taxes to don't clean it up fast enough, then what's stopping us from cleaning up ourselves? Now, MOP, we actually will go out and clean up our community. And we'll get on the phone and we'll call them and let them know, hey, you need to come clean up our community. But if they don't get there fast enough, we can go out there and clean it up ourselves.
Because see, we have to be examples of it. We have to make it's like having being, when you do something, it becomes contagious, for the whole community. If I'm picking up paper, if you picking up paper, if you doing, the little stuff that oftentimes in our minds, don't some people get paid to do that? So
Right.
so should you just throw it on the ground? How do you keep your community clean? By contributing to the dirt, right?
Exactly.
The filth of it.
Exactly.
If you go to, and we're in Orlando, so just for those that may not be in Orlando, you have a part of Orlando, like we'll say Metro West area.
Yes.
If you go over there, the grass is green. They keep it fertilized.
Yep.
They keep it cut. You're not going to see a lot of paper everywhere. You're not going to really see paper nowhere. You go through a community like that, it can be, from peppermint wrapper, whatever it may be.
Yep.
You think twice to throw that down in that type of area.
Right.
But when you in the Pine Hills area, like a community, for those that are connected with our community and understand, when you see a little paper around there, you feel like it just contributes to what's going on, so you just throw it down there anyway. Your thought process is not to keep our community clean. It's to see it in a condition that it's in and help contribute to the filth of the community, opposed to, getting out there trying to pick up some paper and putting it into the garbage that probably a foot away from the garbage, the trash is on the ground.
And them communities that you're talking about, in some cases, they 3 to 5, they no more than 3 minutes apart.
Right.
Some 5 minutes apart. They that close together. But as you say, when you're on that corner and you're waiting at the light, you won't throw that trash out the window because you consciously see the community.
Right.
But you'll drive through the other community and you'll say, well, you'll throw that out. That mindset, see, that's what MOP say, that's what that MOP is about. Cleaning up that mindset to where, no, if you won't throw it on that corner, why would you feel okay to throw it on this corner?
Right. And let's schedule a cleanup day.
Yes.
So that we can come out and clean up our own communities, and I think people really appreciate that, when we're out there with the youth and just, reminding people of the importance of making sure that our communities stay clean. Now, it's not a whole lot of us, so we can't go to every community, but the ideal is to promote and market that so that we are all doing that in our communities, whether you are here in Orlando or wherever you are. It's important that we take care of our communities. And just getting back to the business side of it, we're talking about, the ice and you going to another place to buy ice. Even within our communities, and I'm going to say it loosely, because I really haven't defined our community. I mean, I can define us as a people and we stay in a certain area, but I believe ownership plays a big part when it comes to identifying our community, because I believe our people are psychologically destroyed because of the lack of ownership. And when you don't have a mindset of ownership, it's hard for you to attach or commit to, the purpose of making sure that this community that you live in is a clean community.
Right.
We have to get back to the notion that if we're standing within that community, it belongs to us. And the only way that we can take over the community is people see that we can do good by the community. Because I tell you, when you're looking back at some of our, our great leaders, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, for instance, was given, land, property, because how well he took care of it. It's about your character. And that's what I think people need to be real conscious of. It's about your character. And as MOP, we talk about character. A part of that chill is building that character, and that's something that we have to get back to. We have to truly understand so that we can function as a people and begin to connect, and build bridges together.
Oh, and for sure. See, because when you talked about business and ownership, we have less ownership in our communities than all other communities. But we do have ownership, and we have to be conscious about supporting the ownership. We have to be conscious about inspiring others to become an owner within their own community, because then you make the decisions within your community. Like, if there is a business in your community and it's not treating you the way you want to be treated, then open up the business in your own community and then treat yourself the way that you would like to be treated.
Right.
And that's a simple solution. It's not about complaining, it's about making a difference. Because there are a lot of Black businesses, but we're undercapitalized because we don't get the support, because we unconsciously spend our money outside of that community, even when it's there. And then we wonder why it becomes more difficult.
Right. And when you think about even going back, and now it was a point that again that you made, and I guess this is the other side of it. Capitalism. Capitalism has also affected how we deal with one another, because when we do get the opportunity to advance in this society, this world, the first thing we do, we look at who we can capitalize off of. And most of the time it's the downtrodden, and most of the time it's us.
Right.
That's who everyone capitalize from. And then so you have your own people looking to capitalize from you, because they can't capitalize from the white man.
No.
You're not finna capitalize from those that are committed to one another, the Asians, the Jews. You're not finna capitalize off of them, because they already understand who they are. They understand who, they understand who the consumer is.
They understand who we are.
Right. So as we elevate as I'm gonna say a culture, as some of us elevate individually, that is, we look back the same way to try to capitalize off of one another, which it should be a way of us trying to bring one another up, but we look at how we can capitalize off of one another because of capitalism. And I think, and this is just me, and you can tell me how you feel about it. I think capitalism is a form of, it brings about a form of not integrity, but the opposite of what integrity is, which is distrust, if you will, opposed to the trust that we should have in one another. Because if you're somewhat educated, I like to try to switch up, words. We say educated, but when you look up the root word, is educated. It's someone that's been cared for, and it's brought up in a certain sense, and has a form of sophistication, if you will, and that's just based off of societal norms, right? But if you have those sophistications, education, if you will, you choose to use that at an advantage to the one that may be miseducated, if you will. And I think we have to do better at that, when it comes to that. What you think about that when it comes to capitalism and how we associate it and how we connect it to?
That's so true, because capitalism, if you're not careful, what happens is you will emulate the success of our common oppressor, and then you begin to use the same strategies that they use for success, but those strategies are meant to take away from us as a people and build up to them as an individual. Like it's common practice to come within a lower income community or downtrodden community and take their resources out. And then you take the resources out of their community and then you put it back in yours. So we have to be very careful when you become an individual that is successful to not do what the others do and take the resources out and then not turn around and put them back. Because then you're contributing to the delinquency of your own community. You say, well, I don't live there anymore. But there are people like you who do live there. See, that do need a hand up, not a handout. They need a hand up.
That's it.
Because if you're benefiting from the community, if the people in the community do better, then they can support you and you do better. Because other communities take their resources, but they put them back into their own communities to build them up. And we have to begin that same practice. And see, part of MOP is we actually actively believe in, reinvesting back into our community, putting that time back into the communities where our people are.
Right. One of the things I know, as we go out into the community and we're cleaning the communities, and you got to remember we're dealing with young males, right? And the beautiful thing about it, they all have good spirits about doing it, because we always share with them the importance of it and giving back to the community. But we reward them. We'll go out and do some bowling. We may go and get some pizza. We may go and do different things. I like the time when we did the agriculture, when we was playing had them eating live vegetables, that they grew. So it just brings so much to the youth. It helps them understand their worth in our community and the importance of them in our community. And we just have to get back to those type of things. And I share with the audience just to say, if you're committed to doing some of those things, and by all means, DM us, you can email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com. We do want to be a part of that. We want to be, even if we gave resources to it, that's to help it continue on. But we do want to be a part of that. And that's what MOP was put together to do. Exactly those type of things there.
No, I can definitely tell you. And just to point out, when it comes to, like, when you take the youth, and we talking about a group of men taking our youth, we talking about teenagers, middle school, high school age, cleaning up the community. Now they volunteering to go out and pick up paper, pick up trash, pick up beer bottles, pick up liquor bottles. But what I can tell you is when those in the community saw us cleaning up the community, it made a difference in them, not from just when they saw us doing it and they were proud of it. Mm-hmm. I can remember driving by those communities weeks later, and those areas looked better. Mm. See, because it gives you a sense of pride when, even if you're not taking pride in your community, you see someone else that look like you, right? It make you think, you know what? That trash can is literally right there.
Right.
I'm gonna go and put it in it, because when we came out, it will be all around it.
Yeah, all around the guy, all around the trash can, like.
But the trash can is not full,
right?
Because the mindset is to just be wasteful. Mm-hmm. But when you see someone specifically like you, and you see the youth, the mindset changes. You know what? Let me go and put this in that can, mm-hmm. and it helps and it just makes the community look better.
It does. It does. We you know, we have to get back to those things, because it's important that we continue to advocate for it. And that's MOP in a nutshell. There were some brothers that we had bumped into. We want to highlight these brothers here, Route 7, because they remind us of us, and still want to connect with these brothers. They're supposed to have they had an event in April, but they're doing some great works in the community. They're in like the downtown area, the Paramore area. Yep. And you and I both kind of grew up in that area, you know. So, you know, I applaud them for being in that area. Actually, doing some great works, Grand Avenue. Mm-hmm. They're stationed there, and so that's where they have a lot of their meetings and stuff like that. But you can look them up. Route 7, I think they're online at Route 7. I have to look up their website, but
and of course I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but it is always, see, part of what we do is we like to network with those who have like minds and doing the same thing. When you get a group of young men, when I say black men, when I say young, I'm talking 25 to 50, mm-hmm. 50 to 75, that come together, because the whole thing about community organizing is when you have similar issues, you come together to solve those issues. Mm-hmm. And that's what community is all about, coming together to solve similar issues.
No, that's truly what it's about. And I just have to applaud those brothers. Like you should see that website right now. But look, I mean, if you're interested in connecting with some brothers that are doing some great works, the brothers that are definitely doing some good works. And always, like I said, with MOP, you know, we're always looking for brothers that are looking to do some great things in our community. Like I say, I hold, you know, ideal is is based around chill, which chill means commitment, humility, integrity, love. We added loyalty to that as well. But it's the function of how we operate. It's how we operate, and we are big on that, because it takes commitment, and that was one of our word of the day. It takes commitment to do the works that we need to do within our community to help build up our community as well. So we want to highlight MOP, Men of Purpose, for that specific reason. And any brothers out there, any organization that are doing some good works, and like we mentioned, Route 7, they're doing Route 7 Orlando, they're doing some good works as well. Brother, who else we got out there?
Well, and actually we connected with, over the years, we connected with a lot of people, reconnected. Mm-hmm. Like recently we reconnected with it's called Third Eye Visions.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And brother has a very holistic approach mm-hmm. when it comes to health and well-being, from your mental health, your physical health, from a maternal standpoint, giving birth, but just connecting with conscious people that are doing positive works in the community, mm-hmm. and not talking about it, but people who actually doing it.
Right, yeah. Right. No, this brother been around a long time. You know, he has traveled from city to city, state to state, promoting and doing the same thing he's doing to this day. You know, so he has a great purpose in what he's doing. He's another one that we're going to highlight, that we'll make sure that information, you see that information below on the screen, because we have to really change the way we are doing things, if you will. And our health, you know, has been declining for too long. We're dying too fast.
Yes.
And this brother here has the solutions and ways, to make sure that we're on that path to doing what we need to do health-wise to keep ourselves healthy. So definitely we're going to be promoting what he's doing and sharing that information. And of course, like what we're doing. I have a sister that's deep in health and spiritual health, as well as physical health, that's very conscious of a lot of things that your body experience. On a negative side, that is the illnesses that we incur. Mm-hmm. And she has a website though, the supplements and what's her website?
Healthitarian. It is Brother Jason is at Third Eye Visions.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sister Zabia has a shop.
Perfectly pure.
Perfectly pure. That's what it is. Perfectly pure.
Yeah.
But she actually has all that. For example, if you're in your, I'm gonna throw some numbers out there. If you're in your 40s, you're probably beginning to see it. If you're in your 50s, I know you're seeing it. If you're not, you're deceiving yourself. But when your memory starts to, like, and I'm not saying you got to have Alzheimer's, but when the memory is not as sharp, mm-hmm. and you're having those cognitive functions, the ginkgo biloba, it helps it speed it up just like that. And I know they both do it, but you want to make sure you're getting a natural one, because a lot of the commercial supplements that you get and a lot of the national chains, mm-hmm. they fill with a lot of fillers and artificial ingredients that's doing either more detriment to you, or they have so many fillers that you're not getting potent. Mm. But if you want some potent material that goes right to the point, you want to get someone who's putting things together that understand is, I'm giving you something that's natural for your body, but actually works. Mm-hmm. Something that actually works.
I know she did a booster like during the pandemic, and my niece, she's diabetic, and when she gave her that booster, she said it brought her, I think it's the A1C, so it helped bring it down, and I'm gonna share that on the screen because I don't want to go without that information being shared. But the booster that she put together, not only my niece was, it benefited her, my barber, everybody I came into contact with was buying this booster, and it was really beneficial to each individual, and they was telling me how it was affecting them, on a positive note. So it was just, it's amazing that, this sister, she can put together, this, all these natural supplements, and it creates something that, and it's really beneficial and healthy for you, and it protects you, because we're in the age right now where, once you done came down with some, brother, is so difficult to get rid of. Yeah. Prevention has to be the key. This society don't believe in prevention. No, they don't believe in that. They just believe in dealing with the situation after the fact. Yeah. And see, that normally deals with once it comes to that's medicine and all these other type of things that give you all these different side effects. That's the capitalism. Yeah.
See, capitalism will say, that's okay. I want you to get sick.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you something after you're sick.
Right.
And then after you're sick, I can make a profit off your illness.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a holistic approach is, I'm going to give you something to keep you from getting sick, mm-hmm. so you will not need it.
Right.
And then give you something that'll make you healthy into longevity.
Right.
But capitalism says it's okay to be sick because I can give you something for your illness.
Mm-hmm.
We're not about curing. We're about treating illnesses rather than preventing them.
Right. Every time you turn on the news, you see a commercial. It's a different ailment that's out there, and you like, what is that? Like,
yeah.
So it's you got a pill for this, you got a pill for that, you got a pill for this, pill. It's like, really?
Yeah. What is that? The physician healed ourselves.
Right.
But that goes back to like even from the principles that we're talking about, even in MOP with chill. Commitment, you got to have humility and some integrity. But a part of integrity is taking care of oneself. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to your first wealth is your health. If you're ill, you can't take care of yourself when you're ill.
Right.
But when you're well, you can. But the society teaches us to eat, drink, and be merry. Mm-hmm. And deal with the consequences on the other side.
Right.
That's not a holistic approach. Mm-hmm. That's an approach of I'm gonna get you sick.
Right.
I'm gonna get if you take something and you know you're gonna wake up with a horrible hangover, you may want to ask yourself, do I really want to do something that's gonna cause me to have such a horrible hangover? What gets worse with illnesses if you start to feel a pain and now you go to the doctor and the doctor has to say, okay, I can take care of it, but that's going to require surgery or that's going to require some medication. Mm-hmm. And the medication is expensive and the medication is potent and the medication affects other things. Mm-hmm. Okay, now your whole system is off now because now you got this stress of, wow. But see, integrity means you really want to take care of yourself before you get to that point.
Right. Because that stress, man, like if you come down with some of that stress, all it does is contribute to that long, suffering, if you will. Because it's a part of, stress can really, affect the organ in your body. So you want to free yourself of, dis-ease. I like to break it down. Dis-ease.
Dis-ease. Break that word down.
I'm telling you, because I like to have, ease, but I don't want to be at dis-ease. But that's highlighting some, those who we are connected with, Third Eye Vision, Perfectly Pure. Products, we always want to highlight those that are doing great works in our community that can provide certain type of, can build us up individually and can help build our community because our community don't exist without us, right?
Nope, it will not.
And especially us, being conscious of what it takes to build a community and keeping everyone on the same page within the community, because one of our visions is to as Live Talk, we talk about the mission of Live Talk, which is and this just going into the scope of Live Talk itself, although it's connected with MOP, but the mission is to create a platform to have positive conversations, making spiritual and physical connections, amplifying the voice of the voiceless, and promoting programs and individuals in our community, and inspiring our youth, our women, and our men. We like to say inspiring our citizens, that is, because when we talk about our youth, our women, our men, we talk about the elderly as well, which the elderly is a major part of our community. And I think in this day and age, we have overlooked the elderly, and we don't have the same respect for the elderly as we did when you and I may have been coming up. So I think that's important. And also the vision is to have a peaceful and more informed community that support our businesses and citizens in our community. And that's what we try to promote on this show. That's what we try to promote as MOP. And we haven't talked too much about TBS Goodwill.
Well, TBS Goodwill being the sponsor, it's kind of really the anchor is where it all started,
Right.
because it started as the, to take kind of like, take nothing and let's bring this together. Let's pool our resources and create a platform and a vehicle that we can build from. And to do it in a legal structure so we can operate within the system, but do things that the system is not doing for us.
I put it like this here. When we talk about who are we and what we do, I have different pair of shoes for different outfits, right?
That's a good one. I like that.
And I think as we build within the scope of our community and this society, there are different functions that we attach ourselves to, and I think having a different organization cater to the different functions that we have to be attached to in order to get this work done. So I'll always look at it like that, because there's a time and a place for everything. You and I both connect with different people, different cultures, different background, nationalities, and in our business, if we limited our business to one source, one people, one culture, we probably won't be as successful.
might not have a business,
right? Especially if it's our people, because we're right now trying to uplift and raise up our people to understand the importance of doing business with one another. And I still think that has a little ways to go, and we're getting better. We're getting better.
Yes.
But I think it has a little ways to go when it comes to that. And hopefully we get to the point where we can, hey man, we can build a community, be within our community, we thrive amongst one another, and we can we can grow financially from one another, just benefiting one another. I'm that day will come. But in the meantime, we always have to put out there, we have to bring awareness to the things that we're not doing, that we are not growing from, so, and I mean, that's just important to do, Yeah,
because see, charity begins at home. When the month, it's Earth Day. We have to acknowledge the fact that we share this planet. And then once we can take care of our own community, it begins at home. So we're not excluding anyone, but we have to take care of our own first. Right. It's like you have to take care of your family before you can go out and help someone else. It's like when and I like to say about the shoes, I like for different outfits. You can't wear you don't want to wear your hard shoes when you go to the gym.
Right.
And you would not want to wear your gym shoes if you wear a robe or a suit. So you have to be, have to be diverse. So you have to make sure it fits the situation that you're in, because each situation is different. Right. If I wear joggers, that's great when I'm jogging, but I can't have joggers on all the time because it's not going to fit the work that I'm doing.
Right.
And I would not want to put on a robe if I got to go and it's a senior citizen and we want to help. We're going to help paint their house. Okay, it would not be appropriate for me to come in a suit or in a robe and we're talking about painting someone's home. So we have to be able to be diverse enough to deal with each situation. But that point about charity, it truly begins with us and that community. We have to feel that we won. So then, like you had mentioned earlier, that distrust, we have to be able to break that down. So when we see someone that look like us, we really have to be able to see ourselves, and then we can work together as brothers and sisters. Kill the disharmony, the dis-ease, because that kind of disease turns into now physical disease, and it just permeates. But when we can spread that true brotherhood, that harmony, and that love, it permeates and it spreads. It's like putting water on a flower, it'll grow. But what we put, like the universe, what we put out, we get back.
You said something, and I think this is something that each individual have to deal with, because I can see you and I can see me and you, But guess what? I know I have integrity, so I can see integrity in you. But see, if you're a person that don't have integrity and you're looking at an individual, see, I can see why you can say, oh, you have this ill feeling about this individual because there's no integrity in you.
Yep.
So when you're looking at this person like it's you seeing the distrust in this person.
Yes.
Like he probably just as deceitful as I am.
There you go.
You know, and I think we have, that's why as MOP, that's why we teach what we teach. Integrity. Morality is key.
Yes.
You know, because if you don't have those things there, there's no way you can see where you and I can connect that because you already deemed me to be you.
Right.
If you deem me to be you without the trust and without the integrity, there's no way we're going to connect.
Because see, if you come with deception, we can't connect because in your mind, everybody is somebody deceptive.
Right.
And you looking at what can I take and then hurry up and get out of here with what's for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're looking at it from the wrong prism.
Mm-hmm.
You got your integrity. See, we use the word chill. It's like, hey, chill. But it's not just the word like what you use on the street. Chill is about commitment, humility, integrity, and love. Mm-hmm. And then loyalty.
Right.
But there's a lot more to chill than what appears on the surface.
Right. You really have to exercise that. You got to put that stuff to action. We oftentimes we got to hold each other to that.
Mm-hmm.
In every aspect of our life, whether you're on social media, whether you working for someone else, whether you work for yourself. You know, if you hold yourself to that method of chill, I tell you, you're gonna be good. But if you don't hold yourself to it, you are subject to being led astray or tempted to do things outside of that may not align with that, which means now you're looking at people as if they have the same character you have. So now there's not a trust or a connection there because you already have deemed them to be like you. And that's the biggest issue I believe we have within our community, is trusting one another because you can't trust yourself. Yep. And when you can trust yourself, it makes it easier for you to trust somebody else. And
and that change has to take place.
It does. It really do. All right, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Hey, shalom and blessings, everyone. Author Jeremiah here. I am the author of The Spiritual Significance of a Name, Define Your Purpose. And I want to share something with you today. It's very important. As we go throughout life, we understand certain things to be challenging for us, right? But life can be a beautiful experience when we discover our purpose. Because then, and only then, do we discover that we have a true reason to live. Won't you go to the NOYstore.com and pick up a copy of my book today, The Spiritual Significance of a Name. That's the NOYstore.com. You'll thank me later. Until next time, peace and prosperity.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I'm an enrolled agent with Scott & Associates. We work diligently for our clients, making sure that all of their tax and accounting needs are met. Come take a walk with me.
At Scott & Associates, we pride ourselves in providing exceptional service to our clients. We firmly stand behind all of the work that we do. However, we have also put measures in place to protect our clients should something ever go wrong.
To schedule a tax appointment for your business or personal need, text or call us today at 321-754-1360. And remember, you can always count on Scott.
All right, so just a switch in gears. Can community news. And I don't know, brother, if you have heard that Governor Santos, he signed into law. I guess it's SB 1264 about the history of communism. He talking about he want to teach the evil truth behind communism. What you think about that?
I think all I can say is he realizes he doesn't have much time left in office, and I thank Yahweh, I thank God for that. But because he know his time is short, he's just, I guess, on a tirade of I just call it crazy. He just, you know, hey, I'm gonna go as crazy as I can. I was driving when I heard it, and I was like, okay, I didn't hear that right.
Right.
Because if I heard it, you want to teach this to kindergarten children.
Yeah, K through 12th grade.
And see, I know communism is taught already, I think, at the high school levels.
More at the,
or middle school or high school levels. But you want to indoctrinate this in the children at kindergarten. And see, I haven't read this old bill because it's like, based on previous experience, I know how he thinks. And it says in the scripture that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you want to teach a kindergartner about what you call the evils of communism. But that same kindergartner, if somebody teaches them about the evils of slavery, are they going to lose their job?
Right.
And they're not allowed to teach? That's double-minded.
You're right.
To me, that's a double-minded man. The children, they can't handle the fact that slavery was evil and it was wicked and it's a horrible thing. You say that they can't handle that, but now you're going to teach them about the evils of communism.
And then you use the word truth is what kind of stood out to me, because when you're talking about truth, let's talk about the truth. Saying that we're going to teach the truth, the evil truths behind it. It's funny that you would, before, try to take all the truth out of the school, and like what you just mentioned, you just said it, but you'll implement something like this here. You know, so it's like, bro, really?
See, if you have an agenda, and you're abusing. Now, it's obvious that you're abusing the power of your office. When you can, because see, I was a student of history when I was in school, and I studied communism. Now, there are many forms of communism. So when you blanket say the evils of communism, you're not really talking about the truth, because there are different forms of communism. Right. You talk about the communism of Mao Zedong. You can talk about the communism of Fidel Castro in Cuba, and you're doing that because you're doing it politically because you're looking to get votes. Right. You're trying to appeal to someone, but you claim to say other stuff, and you say that you believe in the Bible. And a lot of people don't like me when I say this, but I pointed out to you very well. If you say that you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, what Christ said in the Bible, his words were, all that believed were together and had all things common. Neither of them lacked which they had was their own, but they brought all they had and laid it to the disciples' feet. And it was distributed amongst those as they had need. So you can talk about the communism of Christ. His was pure. Now, when you get someone with a corrupt mind, they can corrupt communism. But the Bible at its roots talked about having all things in common. So you have no idea what you're saying, but you're doing it from a perspective of, I can only say you're doing it from a perspective of hate, because you're seeking, in my opinion, you're seeking to cause people to have an issue with other people,
Right.
without giving them any facts, without having any truth. You want these people to not like these people, and for no other reason other than because you say so, or because you say that their political method is different than yours.
Yeah. Like, who are you to deem anything evil? When we look at the history of America, that is, and like you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, or just help me out, because communism is centered around a society where, and I would probably have to say a more homogeneous society, if you will, where everybody is kind of like the same race, culture, background, etc. So in a society like that, I would think that if you had people that you was connected to, you're gonna want you're gonna want to protect the well-being of those people. Right. So if y'all choose, like you use the scripture, to have all things in common, where we're giving all our money to the government takes care of us. I don't see nothing wrong with that happening. So now when I think about when they talk about the evils, and you still judging someone, because you can say that's evil without knowing that, without listening or talking to the citizens to say, like, how you feel about this, how you feel about that. Because one person may say, well, it's a part of my culture. That's something we believe in. Another person may say, because they may have been influenced by the Western culture, no, that's not I don't like that, if you will, depending on what it is, and I should be identifying a certain situation. But we can grow up in a society where we dislike some things. Like, you may have children that you raise up in your household. Right. They may not like all your rules. Exactly. You take care of them, though. You make sure that they're fed. You make sure that they have clothing, that they have a roof over their head. No, they don't like all your rules in your household, but they're being taken care of. Right. But you may have another one say, I love all the rules in the household. I just love staying with my Abba, my Ima. Yep. I don't have a problem coming in by midnight. Right. I want to follow those rules. So we have different people when you're thinking about, like, when we identify communism, on what you may think is evil about it, opposed to what's good about it, See, if you to understand it without like we talked about capitalism. Capitalism has its benefits, but the capitalism, see, I can say this because it was done to me and my people. The capitalism that was used on our people, when your capitalism caused you to kidnap my ancestors from their land, and then enslave them and work them for free, I think that's the evils of capitalism. Now, is all capitalism evil? No. But that part of it was horrific. Right. And we have not recovered from that to this day. We still have not recovered from that. Am I standing in my conscience? Yes. But imagine how much farther we would be if we didn't have to deal with 300 years of physical slavery. And then you want to take a country of, especially when you say people who all have the same belief system, they the same culture. If their system works for them because it doesn't work for you, don't deem it evil. Right. See this, the problem becomes, like, from what I studied, communism at its root and its purity was actually a good concept. But what happens is when you get man involved and you get a dictator over a communist regime,
Now he can take that and take it way to the left,
That's true.
because now you have individuals at the top who they don't say it, but see, now you seeking the profit off the communism,
Right.
because now you and those in your class have it all, and now the masses are suffering.
Mhm.
That's a horrible thing to do, because what you said was y'all supposed to all bring it together and we all supposed to have success together. But then when they're starving and you doing well, see, you want to call that evil. But if you look at America now, we have capitalism. You have the wealthy and the rich, they're getting richer. And the poor are getting poor. The middle class, those of us who have to work and earn, it's stretching out. So it's becoming the haves and the have-nots. But those who have, they getting all their wealth from the have-nots.
Right.
Because they're not working, they're not earning it.
Right.
And it's like it. See, and I give my first allegiance to the Most High.
Right.
Like, see, I give my first allegiance to Yahweh. I give my first allegiance to God first. But I love this country and the opportunity that it has. But you can't tell me that the slavery, this country was built off sugar, and cotton. Okay. White folks didn't pick cotton. White folks were not there dying in the sugar canes.
Right.
There were few that worked alongside us, but that was a few. But usually they were an overseer. See, you can't tell me that capitalism that treated the bull, it's another name, but the one who would be over the plow, he had more value than the 10 of us who were working on the side of that plow with the bull. See, I visited the plantations and seen them myself. And if one of us got caught, those ropes will rip us and kill us. And it was okay because we were expendable. They would just literally put us in a hole. This is capitalism, okay? That happened here in America. You don't want to teach this. This is the truth. I'm not making this up.
Right.
But you would throw us in a hole, and then because he fell and he couldn't keep up, and then you put another black man on there being pushed around by the bull. The bull had more value than we do. So there's some evils in capitalism. I run a business and I use capitalism, but I seek to be ethical and have integrity in my business. See, so I can talk about the truth of it and say, this is not the way that I want to do business. This is a better way to do business. But now when you want to go and indoctrinate children in a deception, that's a very dangerous thing, because now you raising people to a point to devalue other people for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
Because now it's like I have to call it the way I see it. We have nuclear weapons, and this country won't do nothing because this country got them. So they holding them at bay. You don't want that country to get it because you don't like them. And you don't want that country to get it because you don't like them. But it's okay for that country to have it because you like them.
Right.
But what country on the planet has used nuclear weapons on any other people? That was America who did that. And we can talk about the Japanese all we want, but they didn't drop a bomb on us. They did attack our bases, but we dropped a bomb. So you have to be very careful when you start throwing around the word evil, because now you will raise up a nation of people who will judge a whole nation of people, not based off their character, but based off of a word.
Well, we'll leave that at that. And we'll get ready to close out. I mean, I think that's a hot conversation, definitely, to be had. And we're going to talk more about these laws that been signed in, the laws that have been signed into, the bills that have been signed into law, as we get into our next show as well. All right. So with that being said, Minister, I'm going to give you the option to go ahead and close out.
Well, because this is Earth Day coming up. For those who healthy, look forward to some a healthy vegan lifestyle. Take care of your body, take care of the planet, because we only have one. You only have one body, so you do need to take care of it. We only have one planet, and we do need to take care of it.
Yes, sir. All right. So before we get ready to close out, I'm going to leave you with this quote. And basically, it reads, community growth isn't just about numbers. It's about nurturing connections, fostering collaborations, and cultivating a shared sense of purpose. We talked about that today as far as the organizations that we are connected with. And I think, as we begin to recognize and connect with other organizations, it's important for us to build those connections and foster some type of collaboration so that we can build and grow together. That's very important. And I just say from the host, peace and prosperity, and from Live Talk, we are out.
Thank you for watching Live Talk. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Talk Orlando. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit on the notification button so that you can see more videos like this. You want to join the show? Email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com. You can also follow the host on Facebook and Instagram at Arthur Jeremiah. And visit the website, thenoystore.com, to pick up your copy of The Spiritual Significance of a Name.